Why is it always that the most interesting ideas always pop into your mind after 11 p.m.?
It's not really a surprise, but I love Khorne. Just the thought of running X first into battle and killing the enveloping shit out of your enemy just makes me feel happy. No hours on end planning and scheming a plot against your opponent or using complicated spells. Just grab some guys and your favorite axe and go collect some skulls for the god whose name sounds like a vegetable. Now you may say that sounds a lot like orc stuff. True, but orcs don't have juggernauts. God, I love those murder rhinos. You know what else I love? Castles and fortresses. Big walls, giant gates, epic sieges, and the ability to break an army that is 10 times the size of yours. So I've been playing around with the thoughts of this big Khorne castle. Huge piles of skulls everywhere, banners for the blood god in every roof and tower, and a big gate that, when opened, unleashes a horde of demons ready to collect skulls for the throne. I think a lot of you guys know that GW indeed did sell multiple Chaos Fortress sets, and even runes to go with it. And it looked awesome. I mean, just look at how massive this thing is. You could probably play an entire game of 3000 points in there. But sadly, the whole Dreadfort concept never survived it into the second edition of Age of Sigmar. A shame if you ask me, because just imagine the things they could come up with if they had given other factions scenery like this.
It's also a shame that GW isn't making any big fantasy style buildings these days.
Come on guys, I know you can do it. Look at the awesome stuff you used to make in the past. Everything for Age of Sigmar nowadays is either an altar, a makeshift barricade, something smashed down, or still in construction. 40k has been getting a lot of cool new terrain lately, so what's stopping you guys from making new stuff for Age of Sigmar? Although I do understand why the Dreadfort Fortress was discontinued, because look at the number of sets you'll need to have a somewhat complete fortress, and good luck trying to find a set online that won't bankrupt you if you buy it. So how are we supposed to build a big Khorne castle if we don't have the Dreadfort set? The answer is quite easy. As always, toys. And in particular, Playmobil. If you don't know what it is, go look it up, it's pretty awesome.
So this isn't the first time I made Warhammer scenery out of Playmobil. I've made this Nurgle shrine out of a Playmobil princess castle.
I was actually inspired by Reddit users Wiz67 who made this awesome Nurgle palace. There are actually quite a few who use Warhammer as terrain. While most sets are way too big to look natural in scale next to the Warhammer minis, some just seem perfect for it. And while I have never truly finished my Nurgle shrine, and like half the bits I glued on it are falling off, it still holds a special place in my heart.
So you probably already saw it in the title, the thumbnail, but the next project is going to be a big Khorne Playmobil castle. And because I have no self-control, it's big. Stupidly big. Really big. It doesn't even fit on the camera frame without me having to move the camera, but like this thing is like 24 inches high. But even with this thing being so stupidly big, I still love it.
You've got the big gate, the portcullis that actually works. And even though these dungeon bars are too big to hold a mortal, a fleshhound won't escape anytime soon.
So this castle is way too big to finish in one video. I mean, I only got 2 weeks off now, so it's gonna be a big project. So I'm probably gonna do this in multiple parts. And to start it all off, I'm gonna focus on the thing I was most excited about.
The front gate.
Okay, so what's pretty cool about Playmobil is that you can snap off and reconnect the big pieces using these smaller connection pieces. So this means I have a much easier time working on this project since I can dismantle it into smaller pieces.
So this is my first design of the fortress on how I wanted to build it. It's not much, but I'll try to keep up with this. I'll just see where we get. So first I'm gonna try to make the skull archway. I don't know if I have enough skulls, and I also don't know which glue to use, but since Playmobil plastic is a whole different kind of
plastic than the stuff Games Workshop uses, it's gonna be quite a hassle to try to figure out which one actually connects them.
So after I tried glue on the first skull, I realized I had to basically snip off the backside of the skull to make them fit on the plastic. Okay, so I just did a small calculation, and for these two parts alone I would need around 70 skulls. So I did a small counting and I think I have enough, but for the upper way of the arch, I'm not sure. I also drowned the skulls in plastic glue to make it one solid matter by melting it all together, because I'm not sure if the glue I used to glue the skulls to the castle with would hold over time. So in case the glue does try to betray me, I thought it would be better if it was one solid piece instead of 1000 tiny skulls that would come off one by one.
Okay, so I managed to fill in the lower sections with skulls, but for the upper section, I don't know if I have enough skulls left. I'll try to fill it up with some bigger skulls from like beastmen and orcs and demons of course. Okay, so now I'm just trying to figure out where to put the larger pieces, and it's gonna be a lot of dry fitting. Maybe I'm gonna do just one big headpiece per tile. Not sure, but I guess I figured out. I also found a Chaos Gargant head in my bit box, so I thought it could be a nice centerpiece.
I did end up needing to shave this head off a bit, but eventually he fits.
Well, there we go, the last piece. Let's see if it... Oh, and there we go. The entire archway is filled with skulls with a gargant on top. So, mostly at the bottom there are mostly human skulls. And as you go way up, it's more demon and beastman based. So I like to imagine them building this thing up, and they were like, yeah, the less worthy foes are gonna go all the way to the bottom, and then the guys we had the most trouble with killing will get them on top. Alright, it's 1 AM now. I'm wasted. Wake the fuck up! Alright, back to work. So my initial plan was to paint everything in planks, but since I don't have a lot of experience using freehand, and I found these coffee stirring sticks, I'm gonna glue a lot of them on there and then snip them off as a trim. There we are. Now just gotta trim it. Alright, small tip. If you're working with super glue, be sure you have clean air around you, because ooh, I'm getting pretty hot right now. It doesn't look that bad actually. I mean, it's pretty good, right? Probably gonna glue them shut though, because they tend to open up and close pretty easily. Right, so I did the entire front. Got the front arch, the windows, the little symbol on top. I can go spray paint.
Because last night was the first and probably only night of snow, the temperature and humidity level outside wasn't the best. So to spray anything, I was forced to do it in the garage with the door open. Sorry, Dad. Alright, back at the paint station. It smells horrible in here, but eventually when everything is dry, I can put this all together. I first added a layer of lead belcher over the iron part of the gate to give the more dirty and used feel. While that was drying, I started with the skull arch. First I base coated it with a layer of Rackard flesh. After that, I gave everything except the demon skulls a wash in Agrax Earthshade. The demon skulls I gave a wash in Caroburg Crimson. When it was dry, I highlighted everything with Flayed One Flesh. The demons I highlighted by giving it a dry brush with Wild Rider's Red. For the sealed up windows, I did every plank separately by using dried bark and Rhinox hide. I also gave the window frame a coat of lead belcher. You could nearly say that it's all done, but I still need to do the big Khorne symbol on the main gate. And since the old dragon logo is still fairly visible, I have decided to base coat it with a dried bark base. I could have done this by using the coffee sticks I used for the windows, but given the doorknob thingies there, I thought it wasn't worth the trouble. Up next was the Khorne symbol. I first wanted to do something special like this, but since I'm not one of these guys, I went for the classic red and gold symbol. First, I drew a few lines using a pencil. Then I filled in everything with red butyl armor, while I painted the inner part with Khorne red and a dry brush of Wild Rider's red. I topped everything off with a wash of Nully oil and a small wash of Agrax Earthshade in the cracks and at the bottom of the doors. I also dry brushed the entire thing using dry dawnstone. And last but not least, I added a bloody effect, because what is a Khorne stronghold without blood? I'm actually kinda surprised how I managed to make the Gargoyle look so terrified. Surely, getting his head chopped off wasn't the best part of his final day. Well, there you have it. The front part of the Khorne Fortress. I'm guessing this is it for this video. I think next part I'm gonna focus on the stonework and the dungeons. So if you wanna see that, please leave a like, leave a comment. I would really appreciate it. And yeah, maybe see you next time.